Hello student, welcome to 9th standard geography. We are going to start lesson 3rd, that is exogenetic process part 1. In the previous chapter we have studied endogenetic process. Now we are going to study exogenetic process. So endogenetic process means internal process and exogenetic process means external or outside process. For example, a simple example, that is the process which goes on in the stomach of our, that is internal process, and the process outside the body which goes on, our nail grows, our hair grows. So these are considered as exogenetic process. In the same way, our earth internal process goes on, and therefore we have seen that the continents, mountains, plateaus and plains are formed. Because of this exogenetic process, several landforms are created, and these we are going to study through this lesson. So first of all, exogenetic process, 4 more important things we must keep in mind is that the withering, the rocks get withered up, they tear up, they get separated from each other, and finally they fall apart, get disintegrated. That is withering. Number 2, erosion. So this withered material gets washed out, and it is the barren rock remains over there, and the top layer of the withered material or the soil gets washed up. So that is considered as erosion. Number 3, transportation. This withered material is transferred from one place to another place, either by water, by wind, or a glacier, or even the slope, a stone. We have seen the landslides. So from top, from the parent rock, the disintegrated rock falls down and it comes rolling down, it reaches to the valley. So that is transportation. And finally the 4th one is deposition. Deposition is this carried material, this transported material gets deposited, gets settled at one place, and then several landforms are created. So through this chapter, my dear student, we are going to study the same thing. Let us begin the chapter. Many landforms are formed due to the internal movement. So we have seen this internal movement earlier in the previous chapter. Many processes occurring on the Earth's surface also leads to the formation of degradation of landforms continuously. So outside as well different processes occurs. In this lesson we will be studying the exogenetic process or the external process, and the landforms are created by this process. So let us go further. External processes occur because of the forces working on the Earth's surface. So there are several forces which are working on the earth's surface. These forces works, and then because of this the external process takes place. So let us see which are the forces which act, and then external process takes place. So these are mainly solar energy, gravitational force, and kinetic energy. So these three energy plays an important part. As we go further, dear student, you will know how solar energy, gravitational force, and kinetic energy works on this. So let us see that solar energy, gravitational force, and kinetic energy associated with the moving object on the earth's surface. So because of this, exogenetic or external process takes place. Do you know? Landforms formed on the earth's surface as a result of internal movements are called primary and secondary landforms. Because of internal movement, they are considered as primary and secondary landforms. For example, continent, mountains, plateaus, plains, these are formed because of internal movements. In the previous chapter, we have studied that. Because of the external processes like weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition, the primary and secondary landforms give way to the tertiary landform. So once again I would like to remind you that primary and secondary landforms are continents, mountains, plateaus, and plain. Okay, these landforms are processed, that is because of weathering, erosion, transportation, and deposition, and then tertiary landforms are created. For example, tertiary landforms examples: valleys, sand dunes, delta, U-shaped valley, etc. So all these we are going to study now. So let us move further. See the given picture. Observe the physical appearance of the rock in each pictures. You can see that rocks are broken, fractured, and have holes in them. In a picture, you can also see that the statues have been deformed. They are the rocks in such a condition. Why are the rocks in such a condition? Think about them and briefly tell the reason you can think of. So what do you think? Why this condition of rock we can see in the pictures here? Discuss the reason. Check with the teachers if your reasons are relevant. So you can write down this. Why do you think that in these three pictures, figure 3.1a, b, and c, three pictures are there, why do you see the rocks are in this way? Then you can also go on seeing 3.1d, e, f, g, and h, and you tell why these rocks are in this case. So let us move and we will study what is the reason. So first of all, in the first picture here, because of the solar energy, because of the rain, and because of the wind, strong wind blowing, dear student, the top layer of soil has been washed away. It has been carried away by the wind, washed away by the rain, and the because of the sun, the rocks get heated. At night, the rock gets cooled down. So during the day, it becomes hot. At night, it gets cooled. So rocks has many minerals. These minerals get heated and contraction takes place and expansion takes place, and therefore the rock gets cracked, develop cracked, and then the top layer of soil gets washed away and the parent rock remains back. Again, slowly the same agent keeps on working, that is solar energy, wind, rain, and this rock also gets peeled up. So you can see this picture that the top layer of soil is being washed away. You see in the second picture here also the similar like thing, that the top layer of soil is washed away, and also rocks get cracked in between, and then they fall apart. You can see the pebbles and stones are getting separated from the parent rock. And then the next picture which you could see is that this rock, they are totally gone away from the parent rock. They have been disintegrated. So let us see the first picture which we have seen is excuse me, dear student, this is called exfoliation. Exfoliation means the top layer is getting peeled up or getting washed out. Then after some time again this agent works and the second layer goes, and then the third layer goes. It's like almost like onion. You cut the onion and first layer you take out, then second layer and third layer and fourth layer. So exfoliation of dome shape hill. So you can see the dome shape and exfoliation takes place. Into bracket it's written mechanical weathering. Well, slowly we will learn that. Then in the second B part, 3.1b, block disintegration. Again this is mechanical weathering. Mechanical weathering takes place in the dry and arid places where the sun acts as the primary medium and wind too. So because of that, these rocks are falling away from the parent rock. Parent rock means the main rock which is there, which holds them. So slowly they are falling apart. Then here it has already broken and disintegrated. So this is called shattering. It is already shattered away. This is also a type of mechanical weathering. Then we move on to next. You can see oxidation. Oxidation is a chemical reaction. So in oxidation, redox is a type of chemical reaction in which the oxidation state of atoms are changed. Transfer of electron between chemical species takes place, and then the rocks looks like this. There is no top layer over there. This is the color of the rock is red. That is because this rock has lot of ferrous material, that is iron particles, and the chemical weathering mostly takes place in the region where it rains heavily, or I could say where the humidity is more, towards the coastal region. So oxidation takes place, chemical weathering takes place, and you can see the chemical reaction here. Then the next one is biological weathering. You can see the ant and the burrow there. Ant goes inside, then one particles of the soil it separates, and then ant hill is made, and the burrows which are made by thousands and thousands of ant, it is considered as biological weathering. Then the rabbit also makes the hole, the snakes, the rats, and biological weathering takes place. Then we move on to the next. See, the tree is been grown on the rock, and because of the growth of the tree, as the tree is growing, the rock is has developed crack in between because of the roots, and then finally it gets separated. So this is called biological weathering. Trees are living being, so the weathering which takes place because of the living being, the weathering which takes place because of the living being is considered as biological weathering. Then we move on to next, that is the statue which you could see. And statue earlier when it was carved was beautiful, but because of chemical weathering, chemical reaction, you could see that is because chemical reaction, because of the moisturized weather and the type of rock, reaction takes place where the redox works there, and therefore the condition of statue you could see in this way. And the next picture we could see is chemical weathering or salt weathering. It is almost like a looks like a lattice work. Lattice work is done in the stone. The stones are marble stones are carved nicely, and then it almost looks like that. I would remind you that lattice works you can find in the forts, or also in the Taj Mahal, where the netted white marble is put. In the similar way, this looks like it is considered as chemical weathering or salt weathering. So let us see the geographical explanation. Breaking or weakening of rock is a natural phenomenon. It is called weathering. It is but natural that rocks get broken, or it becomes weak, and then it falls apart. Weathering can be of three types: mechanical weathering, which is also called as physical weathering, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. So we have already seen these three types of this type of pictures, where three pictures were of mechanical weathering. Then we have seen the chemical weathering, three pictures, and two pictures of biological weathering. So how this take place? In arid climate. Arid means the dry climate, dry weather, where the dry weather is, hot and dry weather. In arid climate, mechanical weathering is dominant. So wherever there is mechanical weathering, you can immediately relate that this is because of dry weather, arid climate. So mechanical weathering is dominant, while in humid climate chemical weathering takes place. So humid means where the moisture is more. So in the humid climate chemical weathering is more effective, and biological weathering occurs because of living organism, and living organism you can see everywhere. So these are the types of weathering which we have seen, three types of weathering. Now let us move further and let us see mechanical weathering. Try this. So please, we all are going to do this experiment, and then each one of us will write down what you feel about it. Take an onion. Everyone has onion in their houses, so take one piece of onion, cut it in the middle. So let us cut it and observe the cut part. And what do you see? What do you observe? Then what you do is try to remove first outside layer of the skin, and the second layer, and the third layer, and the fourth layer, and the fifth layer, and till the final layer is taken out. Now you please write it down in 2 to 3 sentences. What have you observed? In the next lecture we will continue from here, and we will study in the similar type of thing happens in the nature with the rocks, and which type of weathering takes place we are going to study in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.